Okay guys, we're going to see if this works a little bit better since my phone keeps overheating. Alright, so sorry about that. I had to go back and refill in my degrees. So we backed up a little. Okay, and then you're going to go all the way around the circle. So remember, what we're trying to figure out here is the x and y distance for each of these particular things. So first I filled in my degrees, and now I'm going to fill in my radians, which is a measure of rotation. So that's 0 radians. That is pi over 6. This will be pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2, and so on. We're going to keep going around. Okay, so now we're trying to figure out what are the x and y values at those particular things. So on that particular point, we are measuring from the center to the edge for the x value, the horizontal value, and that is 1. Our radius is 1. But we haven't gone up at all on the y-axis. So that's just 0. Okay. So now this is where those 30, 60, 90 degree triangles come into play. So if we're trying to figure out, I have no idea what I'm talking about here, to be honest with you. Oh, then I jump to this one. My x value is 0 because I'm along the y-axis, and the radius is 1, so the y value is a height of 1. Then I think I jump over to 180 degrees. It's -1 on the x-axis, and it did not go up any, so it's 0 on the y. And now, hopefully I'll drop down to 270 degrees. It's 0 on the x-axis, -1 on the y. So those ones are pretty straightforward. Oh, I think I was talking about if you put sine of 180 into your calculator, you're going to get 0. And if you put cosine of 180 into a calculator, you'll get -1. Okay, so now I've got the little triangles here. So all I'm doing is I'm figuring out how far over on the x-axis that particular triangle goes. And I realized I wasn't writing real neatly. Square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so that x-axis, it doesn't go all the way to the end. Drops down right there. So the length of that line from the center to that point is the square root of 3 over 2. That's its horizontal value. Its height is 1/2. All right. Then what I can keep doing is now I'm going to look at my 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. Okay. Its x value is the square root of 2 over 2. That's how far over it went on the x-axis. And how high up it went was also, its vertical height is the square root of 2 over 2. Okay. So now this particular one, and my triangles aren't perfect. Okay, but, and this is where I realize I'm not holding it right. And I paused the video, and I'm like, that's how I'm supposed to be holding it. Okay. The magic of television. Okay, so my x-axis is 1/2. My y-axis, the height, is the square root of 3 over 2, which is pretty close to 1. It's not that far off. Okay, we already did 90 degrees. Now I'm at 120. Again, my x-axis, now I'm going into the negative, so I'm at -1/2. My y-axis, my height, is the square root of 3 over 2, because the y-axis is positive. 135. I've got my 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. My x value is negative square root 2 over 2. And my y value is the square root of 2 over 2. And you basically just kind of go around the circle figuring this out. And in this one, they're both negative because the y value is negative and so is the x value. Not really sure what I was talking about here, but I think you get the point. And then I think I'm saying to go all the way around the circle. You're only going to be using a combination of square root 3 over 2, 1/2, and square root 2 over 2. All right.